Honestly, I can't always tell how this channel is doing, but if we went just by my children's enthusiasm, I have to say that I have more sonic screwdrivers than anybody I know. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and in this episode of Doctor Who, the first part of a two-part finale, we have Ascension of the Cybermen. This was written by Chris Chibnall himself, and he does seem to know how to make a good cliffhanger, at least from what we've seen in this episode. Hard to describe really half a story, and that's what we have right now, where they come and they find where Ashad, the Cyberman with the broken mask and the defective emotion suppressor, has gone, and they come equipped with all kind of equipment, which of course is destroyed right at the very beginning, because it would be a short episode if it actually worked. In fact, it was destroyed by cyber drones, as they called them. They were basically Cyberman heads that were flying around and shooting lasers out of their eyes, or something blue. At any rate, that is perhaps one of the scarier parts of the entire episode, with just that. And looks like a good idea of something that can be used in the future. I mean, you stop and think about this, that a lot of science fiction, of course, depends on what we're accustomed to referencing, and drones weren't a thing until just a few years ago, and so it's interesting that they incorporate them into that in such a way. So, in fact, I expect some toy manufacturer somewhere is going to have Cybermen head drones on the market sometime or other. I would be surprised. Because of this attack, everybody's splitting up again, kind of like they did in, well, most of the episodes this series, where we're breaking up the assistants and sending them off in different places with different things to do. Now, I am getting tired of hearing the term fam. Okay, you're my fam. Okay, you can say that one or two times, but now she's sending out instructions saying, "Fam, do this. Fam, do that." And I'm thinking, I've heard enough fam. Let's say something else. Group, friends, something. That's just a minor pet peeve, though. Otherwise, it was very much something that held my attention, and they had some interesting little asides. I don't know what humbugs are. I presume that there's some kind of candy that's available in Britain. I don't know of them here. She said that she had them with extra ginger and held them up in a bag, very much like the Fourth Doctor did with jelly babies. I thought that was a nice touch. When she was able to actually get into the head of Ashad, she's surprised and says, I should have to start billing you for therapy. I thought that was kind of a funny little bit there. As far as we know, the Cyberium is some kind of mixture between an AI, a knowledge base, and an oracle of some sort, in which it gives predictions of what the future brings, which of course is the destruction of the entire human race and the Doctor too. And we have the last 7 humans on this end of the universe. And there is word of a place, Koshamas, which turns out to be a man who looks a lot like Moses, who is guarding what appears to be a wormhole that goes into another faraway place that the Cybermen can't go to. So we get to a lot of action in between the various places. We have Yaz and Graham, who are on this ship, which has been made out of spare parts and patched and all this kind of stuff and barely running, and they manage somehow to make it into a very small opening into a Cyberman freighter, which apparently is a troop ship which houses a lot of bright, shiny new models that haven't been activated yet. We find out about Ashad that he appears to be wanting to modify some of these Cybermen to have feelings. They didn't say it outright, but by activating some of them using a way that was obviously painful to them, I'm thinking that he's knocking out their emotion inhibitor in order for them to have a cause to fight for, making them even more dangerous than just automatons. When we see the wormhole, we see Gallifrey. And then the master makes his entrance almost at the last minute and says, "Didn't I tell you that everything that you knew is a lie?" One other thing is this Brendan character. We don't really know who he is. He's found in a basket, and apparently, I think he's Superman. Because, I mean, that's how they did. They left Superman, they put him in a ship and shot him into a rural area where a couple of farmers raise him and then find out after he goes to fight crime that he's invulnerable. And they take him all the way from infancy to retirement, in which time they put him into some kind of torture chamber. We're not sure what that's about, but somehow these stories have to tie together. So we're looking at this as well. This is oddly out of place in this episode, so no doubt they're going to have some reason and some way to tie it all together. And so that's all leading into part 2, and I can't wait to see how they end this series. It certainly has kept me on the edge of my seat. I hope it has to you as well, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. If anybody can tell me what a humbug is, I'd be interested in knowing. In the meantime, please go down and make some comments in our forum down below. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. And until we come to the exciting conclusion next week of this, and of course the next Picard coming up later in the week, don't go far.